Okay. So if you're using my playlist, I'm playing Equinox 21, or you can pick any playlist. It really doesn't matter. And we're going to start this morning on our backs. So again, if you have your props, have your blocks at the front of your mat. If you want to keep a blanket or a rolled up towel next to you, you might find that helpful. Always nice in Shavasana too if you're cold. So put that blanket over you. So go ahead and make your way onto your backs. Just begin to breathe mindfully. Pretty simple. Slow, full inhales through the nose. And maybe your first exhale is an open mouth sigh to let it all go. Really exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. And then slowly begin to breathe in through the nose. So I think today I'm looking, we have everyone from California. So we all experienced the rain this week, which was so nice. And I saw this quote that fits it really nicely. It says, "Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path." Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. So just take a moment, think about that. Maybe there's somewhere in your life you were looking for some clarity on your own path. Maybe, Kristen, for you, it's your path to 2021 miles. So take a moment to set an intention for your practice this morning. And then together, let's take a unified inhale. Fill up with breath, slowly sipping in through the nose. And then open your mouth and say, ah, and let it go. Keep exhaling. And then just bring your natural breath back. You don't have to control it anymore. And let's go ahead and draw your knees into your chest. One hand on each knee, give it a squeeze, lifting those hips off the mat. Allow your shoulder blades to slide down the back. Press your tailbone toward the bottom of your yoga mat. And then let your hips come down. Bring your thighs together and just make some circles like you're stirring a big pot. So keep it slow, like a thick bowl of soup, which I've been making a lot this week. And then go the other way. And then just let your knees fall to the right. Look over your left arm. And then switch everything up. And then come on back to center. I'm going to have you squeeze your knees into your nose like we do before Shavasana. And then as you exhale, let everything go. And I just want you to plop down on your mat like you're in Shavasana, but you're going to take your arms overhead. Imagine you just woke up in the morning. Reach through your fingers and toes. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to lift your arms off the floor and your shoulders. So you're reaching toward the back of your mat and then lift your feet off the floor. So you're hovering like a hollow hold and then sweep your arms around towards your feet. Maybe you lift a little bit higher. If this is too much, let your feet go to the floor and just reach. If you're okay right here, go ahead and flutter your feet like you're swimming. 4 more, 3, 2, and now we're going to reverse this. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, extend the limbs, and then just plop down. Take a breath, and then we're going to do it again. You ready? Reach your arms, lift your shoulders, lift your feet. Big inhale right here. As you exhale, sweep your arms towards your feet. Can you lift a little bit higher? And then if you want to flutter those feet. On your next inhale, reach your arms back overhead. Oh, plop down. One more time. Here we go. Inhale, lift your shoulders and your arms. Add the feet. Take another inhale here. Sweep your arms forward. Lift a little higher. Flutter those feet if you want. but don't go away this time because we're gonna lift up to boat. Are you ready? Hold it here for 3, 2, and then, oh, there we go. I made it. Did you guys get it? You're stronger than me. Whew. Relax your shoulders. You can extend your arms and legs. You can have your fingertips behind you, or you can keep your knees bent. Do what works for you. We're just here a few breaths. Soften your shoulders. Maybe smile. Relax your jaw, no clenching. 2 more breaths right here. And then just bring your feet down to the floor. We're going to take your left foot on top of your right, setting up in a figure 4. So you control here. Maybe you bring your right foot a little bit closer. You're going to flex this left foot and then take your hands behind you and sit up nice and tall. Kind of puff your chest forward and then gently press your left knee away from you if you need a little bit more. So if you need a little less, walk your foot out. If you need more, bring your foot closer and your hands closer and bring your chest toward your left thigh. Just a beginning of getting into our hips. 1 more breath here. And then we'll switch it up. So your other hip might be different mobility. So just honor that. Start with your foot further away and then just work your way closer. Flex your right foot and gently press your right knee away from you. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Your spine is tall. Let's do 1 more breath right here. And then we'll release that and come onto your hands and knees in a tabletop position. We're just going to start with some cat-cows. So shoulders align with your wrists, knees are under your hips, and just start to move with your breath. Your inhale, smile in your spine, and your exhale, rainbow shape in your spine. Speaking of rainbows, did you guys see the rainbow yesterday? My mom sent a picture. She lives on the lake, and the rainbow was reflecting on the lake. It was so pretty. Couple more breaths here. Find a neutral position in your spine. Go ahead and move your left hand into the middle of your mat and then take your right arm up. So get a nice expansion here in your chest. 1 more breath and then thread your needle. We're going to do a little threading of the needle today. So just want you to get used to it. Sending your right arm through and then your left fingertips, move them close to your right arm and press, so it looks like this. So you press the fingertips down and you'll get this nice opening even in that hip. So remember that because we're going to add that into our pigeon later this morning. 1 more breath here. And then unwrap that threaded right arm, sweep it back up to the sky, big inhale. And then release it down. And we'll put the right hand in the middle of the mat, left arm, inhale, reach it up. Expand your chest, make it feel good. And then thread that arm down and through. If your ear doesn't reach the mat, you can always grab your block like a pillow. So you're raising the floor to your ear. So the right fingertips, bring them close to your left forearm and then press down in the mat with your finger pads. And you should feel a nice stretch, kind of along the low back and the hip area. It feels really good in pigeon, so you'll have that to look forward to. 1 more breath here. And then pull that left arm through, sweep it back up, big inhale. And then come back to tabletop. From here, we're just going to walk your feet back to plank and hold your plank and really walk your feet back. I know you can't see yourself unless you have a mirror next to you, but you want to make sure your tush is not up like this. And you can do that by walking your feet back. Crown of the head is nice and long. Press into both palms. Notice when you don't, you just kind of dump down. Really press the floor away from you. 1 more inhale here. And then slowly lower chaturanga, coming all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift your heart, tops of the feet stay on the floor. Exhale, lower. Do that 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come on down. 1 more time. Inhale, let's stay here a little longer. Really encourage those shoulders down the back. Take one more breath here. Really pull the heart forward and then lower down. Make your way to downward facing dog, sending those hips up and back. And once you settle into your down dog, shake your head out, yes and no. Oh, good morning, Vanessa. If you want to walk your dog, bend one knee at a time. Two more breaths. Spread those fingers. At the end of your next exhale, look forward. Let's travel to the top of your mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. Hands on your shins. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, fold over your thighs. Bend your knees a little, hang heavy. Start to lengthen here in your hamstrings from the knees up to your sits bones. Hands back on your shins. Inhale, look forward. Can you get a little more length? And then exhale, dive forward. Take your arms out like wings. Inhale, rise to standing. Sweep your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, seal your hands together at your heart. Take a breath here. Root down through your feet. Rise up through the crown of your head so you're super tall. Sweep your arms down and then up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank and hold it here. Press the floor away from you, engage your core, and then slowly lower chaturanga. Inhale, lift your heart for cobra or upward facing dog if you're ready for it. And then downward facing dog, hips go up and back. 3 or 4 deep breaths here. One more breath. At the bottom of your exhale, walk or softly float your feet to the top. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold right back down. One more time through sun salutation A, and then we're gonna do some sun salutation Bs. Inhale, look forward, plant your hands and step back, vinyasa. So the sun salutation Bs will start to warm up our hips a bit with the warrior ones. Fire up that Ujjayi pranayama breath, very helpful, especially on a cold day like today. Look forward, walk or float your feet to the top. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach up, look up, and sit down, Utkatasana. So in Utkatasana, weight is in your heels, lift all 10 toes. Your arms are reaching up, arms by your ears, but then soften the shoulders down your back. One more breath here, and then straighten your legs, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, lower, slow with control. Don't just plop down. Inhale to your back bend, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. At the end of your next exhale, right foot forward. You're in a lunge, spin your left foot flat, and toe heel your right foot once or twice to the right for me. Then nudge this right hip back, literally push it back a little bit with your right hand. Keep it there, and then rise up, warrior one. We're gonna stay a few breaths. We're not gonna flow through this yet. So you're sinking into this right knee. You're pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. So you should feel this nice opening in the groin area as you pull the right hip back and left hip forward. Shoulders are relaxed, gaze is soft. One more breath, maybe lean back, find a little back bend, and then sweep those hands down, step back. You can always float your leg if you want a little more. You can always add in chaturanga push-ups at the end of your vinyasa right here if you want a little bit more, or skip it. Left foot steps forward as you're exhaling. Toe heel that left foot once or twice as you spin that right foot. Nudge that left hip back and rise up. Hip bones face the front of your mat. Press into the outer edge of your right foot, not the inside of the right foot, the outer edge. And then sink into your left knee. Make sure that knee is tracking right over the ankle. Tuck those lower ribs in. One more breath, maybe lean back, and then bring your hands down, step back, take that vinyasa. At the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk or softly float the feet to the top. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees. Utkatasana, sweep your arms up. Can you drop your hips a little more and then reach up a little more? Stand up, goal post your arms, find a nice back bend. Inhale, reach up, hands to your heart. Drop your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, straighten your legs and fold. Inhale, look forward. Plant your hands, step back and lower through your vinyasa. We're going to flow through it this time. Right foot steps forward. Your inhale brings you up, warrior one. As you begin to exhale through your nose, bring your hands down, step back, vinyasa. Same thing on the left side. You don't have to go with my words. Left foot steps forward. Better you go with your breath. Your inhale, you rise up. As you begin to exhale, your hands come down. Step back and lower chaturanga. Your back bend is your inhale and your exhale is your downward facing dog. Hold it here. At the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk or float those feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana. Stay here this time. We're going to take a twist, right arm back, left arm forward. Keep your hip bones facing the front of your mat though. Don't let your hips go to either side. Inhale back to chair. Exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Expand your wingspan, really reach through both arms, lift your toes. Inhale back to chair. Stand up, straighten your legs, find that nice back bend, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach up, and then just bring your hands together at your heart. Close your eyes. Come back to your breath. Maybe your heart's beating a little bit faster. I know mine is. Come back to that intention you set as we are about to embark on our yoga flow journey. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, look forward. Make your way back through your vinyasa. Go with control. Don't rush your poses. You have the rest of your day to rush. Slow things down when you're on your mat. So you're going to inhale and reach your right leg up behind you. Go ahead and bend your knee and just open the hip for a moment. And then you're going to take this bent knee over to your right tricep. So come forward to a plank. Bring your right knee to your right tricep. Cross it over to the left. Cross it over to the right. And then just bring it into the center. Plant your foot. You're going to set up for warrior one. So feel free to nudge your right foot right. And when you're ready, come on up, warrior one. Shoulders relax. All those same little things we did with the pose, pressing into the outer edge of the left foot, sinking to the right knee, hug the right hip back. Take your hands behind your back, lace your fingers. Just notice right now which thumb is on top, so next time you can switch it up. From here, sink more into your right knee. Come forward a little more. Keep that, and then let your hands slide down your back thigh. Open the heart up to the ceiling. And then come forward, long spine. Reach, reach, reach. Humbly bow, allowing the head to come down to the floor. Now, if you're noticing right now any discomfort in your low back, just bring your hands to the floor on the inside of your foot. But you're keeping this same shape of this warrior one. Keep drawing your right hip back. It's going to naturally want to kind of dump to the right. Don't let it do that. Hug it in. Sink a little deeper into your right knee. Just a couple more breaths. That's it. So I'm going to have you release your hands on the inside of your right foot. And move this junk. Your hands are going to be kind of like a down dog, okay? So spread your fingers. My left hand is on the floor. My right hand is on the mat. You might have the same thing. So press into your palms. Allow your head to hang heavy like a down dog, and then hug your right hip back like we just did in Warrior One and Humble Warrior. Just a couple of breaths here. Then I want you to just walk your hands in line with your right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot like a runner's lunge. So you might need to toe heel your right foot in a little bit. We're going to lift up to Warrior Three. So you might go right into it. You might say, no, thanks, I'm going to use my blocks. So do what works for you. I want you to flex your left toes down to the floor and reach back through that left leg. We're going to come up to standing on your right foot, and you're going to bring your left knee in front of you and then find a figure four. So that left foot is going to be on your thigh like this, and we're going to have a seat. Okay, so you can keep your hands at your heart and sit down. Your left foot, keep it flexed. You can use your blocks here for balance, or you can have your hands on the floor. It doesn't matter. The goal here is focusing on this left hip. So if you don't feel like balancing, don't. It's totally fine. Just a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to come out of this the way we came in it. So focus your eyes on something that is not moving, and then slowly come on up. We're going to send your left leg back, Warrior Three. This time we're going to land into crescent pose. Woo, I lose my balance. Come onto the ball of your left foot and just rise up. And then open into Warrior Two. Adjust your feet. Left toes turned in slightly. Right heel is in line with your back foot. Sink into this right knee. Extend through both arms. And while you're in this pose, can you find the outer edge of your left foot and press into it as you sink into your right knee? So I want you to straighten your right leg, reverse your triangle, reach to the back of your mat. So I want you to stay here reaching back and then bend in your knee. So now you're in a reverse Warrior Two. And then come back to Warrior Two and find side angle pose. Maybe forearm on your thigh. If you're starting here, use your forearm to gently nudge your right knee open, but your right foot is still grounded. If you want to grab a block, you can bring your hand to a block or hand on the floor. You can also play with moving the hand behind you. Might give you more expansion in your chest. That's what I find when I take it this way. Your arm, do whatever you want with it, your top arm. We're going to reverse your warrior, reach up and back. Straighten that right leg. You're in that reverse triangle again. This time, come on up into triangle pose. So if you want to shorten your stance, go ahead. And then right hand down, left arm up. Again, you do what you like with your arm. If your shoulders are tight, I'd recommend take your hand behind your back for that half wrap. Come on back to Warrior Two, sink into that knee. We're gonna windmill your hands down to a runner's lunge. We've been here before. This time I want you to toe heel your right foot to the right with both hands on the inside of your right foot. And then go ahead and drop your left knee to the floor. From here, you're going to gently press your right knee away from you. So it should look something like this. If you have more space, you can bring your arms down onto blocks or come all the way down on the floor and then press your knee open. So do what feels right in your own body. And then if you like, another option is you can reach back and maybe clasp this left foot and pull that left heel toward your left cheek. So your right knee is still rolling open if you're taking this option, regardless. All of our right knees are rolling open to get into that right hip. Couple more breaths. If you have this back foot, go ahead and carefully release it. Don't just let it flop. We're going to bring your hands on the inside of your right foot, straighten your arms, lift your left knee, plant your right foot on the mat. We're going to take your right leg, sweep it up to the sky, down dog, split, bend your knee, open the hip again, and maybe flip your dog if that's in your practice. If you're taking the flip dog, I want you to lift your hips up. Try to press your left foot into the mat. And then make your way back to plank. If you did not flip your dog, just make your way back to plank so we're all here, and lower through your vinyasa. And pause in downward facing dog. If you'd like a child's pose, this is a great opportunity. If you need a little water, towel, asana, whatever you need, take it. Take a big inhale through your nose. Let something go. That's what's so nice with hip openers. They really do let go of stress and tension in the body. All right, let's take your left leg up, bend your knee, open the hip. Stay here, press equally into both palms. One more breath. Then you're just gonna bring your left knee to your left tricep, come forward to plank. Hold it here. Bring your left knee to your right tricep. Bring it back to your left tricep. Bring it to the center, plant your foot. You're setting up for warrior one. So maybe toe heel your left foot left, spin your right foot flat, draw that left hip back, come on up warrior one. Sink into that left knee, press into the outer edge of your right foot, and breathe. Okay, I asked you guys to remember what thumb was on top. Let's see if you remember. Put the other one on top. It's gonna be the one that feels funny and feels like you're holding someone's hand. And then let your hands slide down your back thigh as you gaze up, sink, sink, sink into your left knee. Come forward, make the longest spine you possibly can, like you're being dragged forward, then hug your left hip back, then fold, humble warrior. Shake your head out, yes and no. You should be looking at the back of your mat towards your right foot. Encourage your left hip to sink back towards your right heel a little bit more. Make sure you're breathing. Just one more breath here. We're going to release your hands on the inside of your foot and walk them over to the right a little bit. So maybe your right hand is on the floor and your left hand is on your mat. Find that down dog arms. You're looking back towards your right foot. Hug your left hip in and press into your palms. You're still sinking into your left knee. Breathe here. One more breath. And then just walk your hands in. You're going to find a runner's lunge. So come onto the ball of that right foot. You're in your lunge here. So we're lifting up to warrior three. So again, you can use your blocks. You can take your hands to your heart or wherever you want. More advanced would be reaching forward or reaching back. I'm going to keep my hands at the heart. Your right toes, can you flex them and reach back like someone's gently, slowly pulling your right leg back behind you? And then bend your left knee a little, rise up on that left leg. If you lose your balance, no big deal. Lift your right knee up and place your right ankle on your left thigh in that figure four. Look at something that isn't moving. Slowly bend your knee like you're going down an elevator. Sit those hips back, flex your right toes, and maybe this right knee, you don't physically need to press it down, but think about a hand gently pressing your right knee down. Just breathe here. One more breath, and then we reverse out of this the way we came in. Slowly stand up, lift that right knee. Now bend your left knee, warrior three. We'll meet in crescent pose. Inhale, rise up and open into warrior two. Nice. Check your feet. Right toes turn in a little. Left toes are tracking forward. You sink into that knee. Extend through your arms. Really organically reach. Are you pressing into the outer edge of your right foot? And if you're not, go ahead and do it. Activate your right leg. Straighten your left leg, inhale, reverse your triangle. Reach to the back of your mat. Now sink into your left knee as you continue to reach back, reverse warrior. Come on up, side angle pose, yogi's choice. Ideally, do the same thing you did on the other side, unless you have an injury or mobility issue that prevents you from doing that. Never force it. Check in with your toes, they should be relaxed. A good way to check that is just lift them off the mat and relax them down. Can you sink a little more on your left knee and press more into the outer edge of your right foot? 2 more breaths. Come on back to warrior 2. Straighten your leg, reverse your triangle. Again, reach up and back. Come on forward, keep that leg straight. Triangle pose, left hand down, right arm up. Hold it here. Do what you like with your arms. Two more breaths. In my most favorite pose of all. Come on back, warrior 2. We're gonna windmill your hands down, and then you'll toe heel your left foot to the left. Both hands on the inside of your left foot. Drop that right knee. Your left hand goes to the inside of the knee and you gently press it open so the inner arch of that left foot lifts. Maybe you come down onto your forearms if that's available to you. You might want to go slowly, like maybe you take a few breaths with your arms straight and then you give it a try. Again, you can bring your forearms to your blocks as well. If you want to reach back for your right foot, that left hand reaches back, bend your knee, see if you can clasp. If not, don't worry about it. It'll come one day. It's like handstands for me. I want to be that 80-year-old grandma that's in a handstand. So I've got about 31 more years to get there, but I'm going to get there. Couple more breaths. If you have the back foot, go ahead and carefully release it. You're going to bring your hands and on the inside of the foot, straighten the arms. You're going to lift your back knee. You're going to press into your hands and send your left leg up, bend your knee, open the hip, flip your dog if you want to. And then we're going to take a vinyasa or just go to downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Let something go. So we're going to flow through that a little bit differently. I just want to throw in some more advanced versions of your poses to get into your hips a little more before we get to the floor. So just inhale your right leg up. I'm going to have you step it right through into warrior 1. Take the hands behind you, lace your fingers. Let your hands slide down your back thighs. You gaze up and then come forward, humble warrior. So your option here is just to stay right here. You want to try an arm balance or doing things a little differently. You bring your right shoulder, do it on this side. So you bring your right shoulder under your knee, and then you can lace behind your back and stay here. You're still like in a humble warrior. Sorry, your back foot's flat. Or if you want to try an arm balance, then you spin onto the ball of your foot and you reach the foot forward and back. All options. You can stay right here in humble warrior because that's where we're going to meet. So if you're doing a different variation, come on back to a humble warrior. We're going to lift up, come onto the ball of your left foot, find your warrior 3. And we're going to come up to standing and take that figure 4 balance position again. This time I'm going to give you some different options. Option 1, I'm going to face you guys. Option 1, you just stay right here or hands on blocks. If you want to play with flying pigeon, you can go to flying pigeon. I'm not going to show that right now. What I'm going to show is take your arms and sweep them underneath this shin, your left shin, like a baby cradle. And then where we're gonna go, I might fall out of it, but we're gonna come to standing with the shin. See if I can do this. And you come up to standing. So it's like a standing baby cradle position. If you fall out of it, you fall out of it, but we're gonna come out of it the same way we came into it, where you slowly bring that baby back down on your thigh, and you're back in your figure four. And then we'll come up to standing, lift that knee. We're gonna step it back into crescent pose as you float through warrior three. Inhale, reach your arms up. This time you're gonna bring your hands down. We're skipping that whole warrior two thing. Bring your hands down on the inside of your foot. Toe heel your right foot right. Come on down again. Maybe to the forearms. Maybe you keep your knee lifted if you want more of a challenge physically. It's not really a yoga challenge. It's just if you like to push yourself. I personally don't, so I'm dropping my knee. Just 2 more breaths right here. Pressing the knee away from you. Sorry, I didn't mention that, but you can definitely be pressing your knee away from you. And then bring your hands back down. We're coming right back to that down dog split. And we're gonna do that same thing on the other side. And then we'll get ready for some deeper hip openers. Flip your dog if you want to. We're gonna meet in down dog. You can go straight there again or take your vinyasa. Big inhale through your nose, fill up. Open mouth sigh, let something go. Another breath. On your exhale, please step your left foot forward. Set up for warrior one. Spin that right foot flat. Pull the left hip in as you rise up. Hands behind your back, the other thumb on top. Inhale, open your heart. Humbly bow forward. Make room. You might need to move your left foot more to the left. Your options here. Again, you can take that left arm underneath and wrap behind you and clasp fingers or wrists behind you and stay here. Your left hip is still hugging back. The arm balance, this left leg rests on your left shoulder. You reach through both feet. Yes, your hips need to be open to do that. So it's good to do those hip openers first. So make your way back to humble warrior. And then come on up halfway, spin onto the ball of your right foot, warrior three. All right, we're gonna come on up. Bring that right knee up in front of you. Place the right ankle on your left thigh. Focus your eyes on something and slowly have a seat. So you can stay here. Flying pigeon is when you wrap the toes of your right foot around your left tricep. You can play with this if you want, staying here or sending the leg back, or go for that baby cradle where you lace your fingers around your right shin, slowly make your way up. And you bring that right shin toward your chest. Maybe you don't come all the way up, try to come up right. You also can unlace your fingers and just hang on to your knee and your foot. And then come out of this the way you came in. Focus your eyes, go slow, don't rush it. And then we'll lift that right knee back up. Warrior three, to crescent pose. Inhale your arms up and just bring them down on the inside of your left foot. Toe heel your left foot to the left. And then find your option here, letting that left knee roll open. If you need to use your left hand to get deeper, go for it. So on this side, not just yet, but in a moment, we're gonna work our way into Hanumanasana and then into pigeon pose. So let's bring our hands back down and go ahead and straighten your arms if they're bent. And toe heel your left foot back in. So now your left knee is right over your ankle. If you need more padding, grab your blanket under your right knee, or you can pad your knee by double folding your mat, which is an easy option there, convenient at least. Walk your hands up, let your hips melt forward as you press away. And then go ahead and bring your hands down. You might want your blocks handy. I certainly like to use them with my Hanumanasana. So we're going to shift your hips back, and your left toes are going to flip up, and your left hip is going to draw back. Think of like a warrior one hip. So you want your hip bones facing the front. This might be your splits, your Hanumanasana. Stay here. That is perfectly fine. You can always play with walking the limbs forward. You want to start to slide your left foot forward. Don't just slide into the splits, which is practically impossible on a sticky mat unless you have a towel on top. But go slowly. Blocks are like my good friends here. I lean on these guys a lot for this pose. So you can have them next to you at any height. You can stand them up tall. You want your spine to be up tall. You can also place it under your left thigh at any height, like I'm doing the middle height here. And then maybe you can free your arms. Some of you might be in the full splits. If you are, you can play with walking your arms forward in front of you. You can also take a twist, left hand to the back thigh, right hand to the front, and look back. So many options. What's a yogi to do, right? One more breath. Bring your hands down. Hardest part of class is right now, dragging your left foot in. Usually my mat comes with me. All right, toe heel your left foot to the right. We're gonna set up for pigeon. So you know pigeon is not good for your knees. Make your way onto your back for pigeon on your back, or figure four on your back. So blanket, I mentioned you might want your blanket. How do you use a blanket in pigeon? I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show you from this way. You can place it underneath your left cheek to give you a little lift, and then fold from here. That's a nice option. I'm going to give you that one today if you want to use it. You don't have to, totally optional. But your left foot, have it flexed. Your right foot is straight back behind you. So I talked about thread the needle in our pigeon. This is optional. If you feel good right here, stay here, but you should try it because this feels really good. So you're gonna take your right arm underneath your left, just like we did earlier. Again, you can use your block under your head if it doesn't reach the floor, okay? Or your blanket. Now put your left fingertips by your right arm and press into it and draw your left hip back. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you're not, you know you can skip this all together. Your left foot should still be flexed. Use your exhales to let go. There is stuff stored in your hips. Trust me, there is. Breathe it out with your exhales. If you know what old stress and tension you have stored in your hips, visualize it leaving your body right now with each exhale. If you're in this twist with me, we're gonna come out of it. So pull that right arm through. If you've got a blanket underneath you like I do, move it out. We are going to tuck our right toes and send your left leg up behind you. Shake it out, stack your hip maybe, flip your dog maybe. Do whatever you like to release that pigeon pose. We're gonna meet in down dog. Optional vinyasa to kind of clear all that out. I think vinyasas are nice between pigeon poses. Take a big inhale through the nose. Can you let something go with your exhale? So we're gonna step your right foot forward to the top of your mat. You're in a lunge, and then just go ahead and drop your left knee. Cushion it however you like with your blanket, your mat. We're gonna walk the hands up on your front thigh. Just let your hips melt forward. As we move into Hanumanasana, if you know you want your blocks, good time to grab them right now. Just have them next to you. So we're gonna start to shift. I like to inch my left knee back a little. So if you wanna do that too, inch the knee back a little and then start to shift your hips back. So for most of you, this is probably your more open side. It is not for me. I don't know what I did, but I have a super tight hamstring. So you can start to slide that right foot forward. You can inch that left knee back. You can use your blocks here. Again, if you're in a position where you can fold forward over your front thigh, go ahead and do that. But please keep your right toes flexed, regardless if you're in a full split or you have a modified version like I have. So a little scissoring action of your hips here, right hip back, left hip forward. If you want to take the twist like I demonstrated on the other side, your right hand goes back, left hand to the front thigh, and you look back. So let's all come forward. We're going to come back into the lunge. So slide that right foot back in. Toe heel your right foot to the left, setting up for pigeon or making your way onto your back if you're taking a supine pigeon or a figure four. So blanket would go under your right cheek this time, and then just start to walk your arms forward. Right foot is flexed, left leg is straight back. If you're not sure, look back and see and adjust it. So we'll stay here a few breaths before we move into that twist. So if you want to do that twist, your left arm is going to go through, your left ear comes on the mat, and then walk your right fingertips back and press into them. As you do, it's going to shift your hips a little. You should feel it in your right hip. Maybe your low back. I definitely feel it right above my hip here. It feels so good. So remember the days when there used to be adjustments in yoga? I hope those days come back. I don't know if they will. But one of the adjustments I probably have done to you guys is gently pressing your hips kind of down and pulled back. So see if you can create that yourself. One more breath right here. This is such a good song that's on right now. I Forgive It All. That's a good song for a pigeon pose. Just letting things go. Forgiveness is a good one. All right, let's unthread your arm. Walk your arms by your right shin. Tuck your left toes under for me. Lift the knee and send the right leg up. Shake it out. Oh, and maybe flip your dog if you want to. And again, that optional vinyasa if you want. We're going to meet in child's pose. So if you're in down dog, you can go ahead and lower your knees, bring those big toes to touch, take those knees wide, and just let your hips sink back. They should be nice and spacious right now. You'd like to add a side body stretch, walk your arms over to the left side and really put energy in drawing your right hip back towards your right heel. And then take it to the other side and draw your left hip back. And then come on back to center. You're going to walk your hands in towards your knees and then just bring your knees together. Bring your hips to either side and swing those legs around in front of you. We're just going to take one forward fold here. So legs are straight out. Go ahead and roll those thighs inward, grabbing the inner and outside of each side, rolling it in. Sitting up nice and tall. Flex your feet for me so if you put your hands on your quads, they should feel nice and engaged. Notice your strong quads, right? Inhale, reach up, reach forward, try to reach my hands, and then fold over your thighs. Maybe you reach your feet, maybe you grab your shins, maybe you're pulling onto your yoga pants, whatever, it doesn't matter. What matters is that your feet are flexed, your thighs are active, and you're doing your best in this yoga pose. No judgment. And then slowly just come on up. We're going to bend your knees. We're going to make our way onto the backs for the rest of class. So if you want to use your blanket for Shavasana, have that next to you. If you want to have a block for sure next to you, because we will use it. But we're going to do a couple of back bends. So walk the feet in toward your body. Try to have your knees tracking over your ankles if possible. And then press down in your feet. Lift those hips. If you have availability, lace your fingers underneath you and then kind of walk your shoulder heads underneath you. And that will lift you up a little more. And then imagine you have a tennis ball between your thighs. Squeeze that tennis ball and press, press, press down into your feet. You're gazing straight up. You can press the back of your head into the mat to create some space in your neck. One more breath here. If your fingers are laced underneath you, go ahead and walk them out, walk the shoulders out, and then let's all lower down onto the floor. From here, I want you to just take your feet to the edges of your mat and let your thighs just come together. This gives your low back a nice release. So just take a breath or two here. And then we're going to do one more back bend. So walk those feet back in. Press down, lift up. You're welcome to use a block to just take like a restorative back bend here. Feel free. Otherwise, repeat what you did. Maybe you want to try robot arms where you press down. If you want to come into full wheel, hands behind you, get onto the top of your head and then realign your hands before you press up into full wheel. So take whatever option feels right for you. This is going to be our last back bend of our practice today. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Now we're slowly going to come out of this. So if you have a block underneath you, go ahead and slowly release it. And we're going to all come back down. Take the same thing we did. Feet to the edges of your mat, thighs together. And then just take a breath here. One more big breath. And then I want you to keep your feet like they're glued to your mat. Let your left knee open and let your right knee fall left. And take your arms like cactus arms. And then take it the other way. Keep your feet where they are. Just let your knees fall to the other side and look over your left shoulder. Should feel pretty good. Come on back to center and just walk your feet in. Grab your block. We're going to set up for shoulder stand. So you can either take shoulder stand here. If you have a strong shoulder stand, you want to go for it, go for it. Otherwise, grab your block and come with me as we place the middle or low height underneath your hips. And then from there, legs are up. So you're looking at your feet. I don't want you looking at the screen. So just look straight up. Regardless what variation you're in right now, your ankles, knees, and hips should be in one straight line. If you want to take a headstand or handstand or a forearm balance for your inversion, you can go there too. You're still going to have your ankles, knees, and hips in one straight line. 3 more breaths right here. We're going to slowly bring our feet down to the floor. So if you're in a headstand or handstand, take your time. I'd recommend a child's pose at the end of that. If you're on a block, go ahead and press your feet up. Press down on the feet to lift your hips up and lower down. And then draw your knees into your chest, gently rock from side to side. Let's take a happy baby. Your hips are nice and open. Grab the outer edges of your feet and bend your knees. Press your sacrum into the mat and then gently rock from side to side. Should feel a nice massage. Maybe play with straightening one or both legs. It's kind of like a bow and arrow with one leg straight, one knee bent. And then bring your thighs together. Let's squeeze your right knee into the chest. Let your left leg go long. Squeeze that knee in and take a twist. Try to keep your right shoulder glued to the mat. Come on back to center when you're ready. Feel free to stay longer and we'll switch it up. And bring that knee across your body. So if there are any other poses you want before Shavasana, please feel free to take it. And if you want to stay in Shavasana longer than we do, please do stay. You can unplug from the class, come back onto your back. If you are following along on the playlist, you're going to want to choose one of the last two songs. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Lift your nose up towards your knees. Take a big inhale here. And then exhale, let it go into Shavasana. Let your feet be wide on your mat. Allow the feet to just flop open. No more controlling the breath, except one final one here. Let's all take a big inhale through the nose. Fill up. Keep breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Pause at the top. Open your mouth, get noisy, say ah, and just melt away into Shavasana. Slowly begin to bring some awareness back to the body. Wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. On your next inhale, just reach your arms over your head onto the floor for one final stretch from the fingertips all the way down to your toes. And then take a big inhale there. And as you exhale, draw your knees into your chest, gently rocking from side to side. Letting your knees gently fall to the right. And then when you feel ready, come on up to a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall, bringing the hands together at your heart and just closing the eyes. Just take a moment and notice how you feel, mind, body, spirit. Check in with your shoulders, your hips, thoughts in the mind. So I will close with the quote I started with. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. Thank you guys for logging in this morning and joining me in this collective practice of yoga. It's always great to see your smiling faces on the screen. And may the sun always shine through your heart, into your smile, and warm your soul. Have a lovely, lovely day. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining.
Thanks, Allie.
See?